Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Been busy all day doing some, the homestead thing, building stuff, getting some stuff done on the honeydew list, and also getting ready for some paysocking later on this week. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And I thought I'd take a minute to come out here, walk around, see if I can get attacked by the ticks, and maybe even look for some mushrooms. Who knows? Because it's that time. I'm seeing a lot of trout lily up. Man, it's everywhere already this year. Here's some right here. Oh, little trout lily. I always like the trout lily when it first comes up. Good little fresh green snack. Anyways, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on. I had to pick. I do this every time I make a video. I pick the worst way to walk through the woods, right through the thickest, because I'm not really paying attention to where I'm walking. I'm paying attention to the camera. Anyways, a lot of stuff going on in the world, and kind of gets to a depressing level, right? Where you're watching the country, the society, the whatever, the government that you've always been patriotic with. You're a proud American, and you love your country. Many of you have served this country in various different ways, and then now you're watching it all kind of fall apart, and it's very sad to see. It's sad to see the the US dollar begin to kind of collapse and falter. Here's some toothwort. See that? There's some toothwort there. It's edible. Sweet with a little bit of a, spice to it. You can use the roots as kind of a peppery type seasoning. Anyways, back to the depressing stuff. We are living in a time, we are our generation, us, whatever age you are, that's living in a time period that we are watching this once great nation, this once great society that's done so much. Regardless of what you think about America, America has done probably more as a single nation than any other nation in history. And we're watching it just be ripped apart and be destroyed, really from within. I saw something the other day. Someone said that there was once, at least in the last few decades, there's been two big nations on this planet, two prominent forces on this planet, Russia and the United States. Most of us, especially my age and older, grew up in the Cold War, and you always knew that there was a good chance that the bear and the eagle, the United States, might actually square off. And here we're watching Russia, at least the attempt to destroy it from within, from without, I'm sorry. I just kind of killed my little thing here. We're watching Russia be destroyed from the outside in, and we're watching the United States be destroyed from the inside out. And it's very sad. It's sad to watch, and it's sad to experience it. And it's frightening, really. I mean, even if you're really prepared and you've been aware of this kind of stuff your whole life, you've been getting ready, it's still very frightening. And we have to be aware of that. We have to acknowledge that. We can't just keep saying, "Oh, this is just fear-mongering. This is just fear-mongering. That's all you're doing." Well, I guess if you want to continue living with your head in the sand, You could call it some fear mongering, but the reality is it's just the truth. It's just what it is. It's what we're facing. It's what we're living through. And well, I mean, it's not great, right? So what do we do about it? Well, there's all kinds of suggestions out there and all kinds of people saying that right now is the time to, got tripped there, to replenish the tree of liberty. And I don't disagree with that. I don't. But I think the most important thing that we should be doing right now is replenishing the tree at home. Because you see, back in 1774 and 1775, most people, most families, I would guess, based on what we learn of history, were pretty healthy. They had strong ties to their family, the strong moral traditional beliefs, strong biblical truths and biblical beliefs within the families and within the communities. And so when, things started getting really bad with the King of England, then there was no other option other than to refresh that tree. But we're in a different place now. We're in a place that our homes, our communities are in shambles. They are absolutely in shambles. And I'm not picking on anyone here particularly. I'm not saying that your home is in shambles. I'm not saying that, you're not being a good leader or a parent or anything like that. That's not it. What I'm saying is in general, the United States has a real problem with its internal self. The families, the communities, everything. It's all so dependent upon the system. If we go in and try to take the system down, well, then what is there to kind of take the place of that? We need to be working on kind of fixing ourselves internally, focusing our efforts on raising up a strong family, raising up children in the family that are strong and capable of surviving the rough times that we're seeing. Children that are not shaken and wavered by all of this ridiculous wokeness that's out there. That they're not questioning their traditions and their beliefs. We need families like that. We need communities like that, and that's really, I think, where we should be putting a lot of focus on is building and developing strength in our families and our communities, because all this stuff that's happening, as bad as it is, it's all just symptoms of the greater problem that we as a people have lost focus of where we should be. Our churches, for the most part, are watered down. Religion, biblical beliefs have just been watered down to the point that the ones that seem to hold true to the Bible, God's Word, and the biblical truths, that they're just kind of the fringe, the extremists. Same way with patriots. The patriots, the people that are truly about freedom and liberty, are now the extremists. There is a serious disease in this nation. And it's not just that the U.S. dollar's falling. It's not just that half of the world or more is forming lines against us. It's not just that. There's a real problem in our nation, and that is with us inside and with our families and our communities. And we really need to be focusing on that. We need to become as self-sufficient as possible, folks. I know that's a lot to do, and it's hard to do. Trust me, we struggle, and we fight that battle every day here on the homestead of trying to become a little bit more self-sufficient. We also fight that battle of trying to build that shield, that wall around our families, around our children, so that they're not constantly being badgered and seeing the filth that's out there. So it's a constant battle of trying to protect them from all that kind of stuff. It's also a constant battle and fight to try to build sound communities and build systems outside of the system. It's a lot of work. It's so easy just to be dependent upon the local grocery store and the food chain. It's so easy to be dependent upon the utility system. It's so easy to be dependent upon the medical system. It's so easy to be dependent upon the paper currency that floats around, because that stuff's right there. We don't have to do any work to use it. It's hard to get out there and to build something else. It's hard to work outside the system. But that's what we must do, because the system is failing, folks. It's controlled. It's meant to. I believe that it's been this way for a long time, for decades, that there's been this plan to destroy and reset everything. And we are now living in the time of watching it happen. And while refreshing the tree of liberty is certainly one of the options that's worth considering, we need to be refreshing the tree of our homes and our traditions and our families and our communities, because those are withering and dying also. So when you're doing your preparations, when you're getting yourself mentally prepared, when you're building the spiritual strength that you need to withstand everything that's happening, also focus on the fact that we've got to build our families and our communities so that they can withstand this stuff too. Because what's it going to do us to be on our own? And I don't have all the answers. Here in our local area, it's myself and many others that are working together, trying to figure out solutions. And sometimes things work and sometimes they don't work. But in the end, we're at least trying, we're making the effort. And that's what people need to be doing. They need to be getting serious about just getting off of the federal government, the national governments, cutting that umbilical cord. Really need to be doing that, because if you don't, you're going to get drugged down with it. When it starts sinking, it's going to pull you down. Folks, it's tough times. And it sounds like, oh my goodness, it's, fear porn and you're just trying to get clicks because everyone's scared and afraid of what's going on. No, it is. It's really happening. You can see it happening all around us. And I think at this point, personally, only a fool would kind of turn away and ignore it after seeing the truth. Don't let yourself be that. Continue prepping, continue pushing forward, and doing everything you can to get your family and your community prepared for what's going on, because you may not like it. It may sting you. It may hurt you. It may really bother you. But either way, it's happening whether you like it or not. And you need to get prepared for it. Get your houses in order, folks. Prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to see if I can find a few mushrooms and get back to work. Catch you in the next video.